Hello Year 4, it's Mrs Collins here with Wednesday's maths lesson. Please pause the video to write your short date and learning objective in your maths home learning book. The learning objective today is to recall multiplication facts. Press play when you're ready to start your learning. To start off this morning and get our brains warmed up, I'd like to ask you, what are odd and even numbers? Pause the video and see if you can write an explanation and give some examples in your book, or maybe share it with a sibling or an adult. Press play when you're ready to share your answers. Hopefully you will have remembered that odd numbers always end in 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9. They're the numbers that cannot be divided exactly by 2. I hope you remembered that even numbers are opposite to odd numbers. They end in 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0. Even numbers are numbers that can be divided exactly by 2. I'd like you to split part of your page in half and write the titles odd at one side and even at the other. On the top of the board you'll see some green numbers. Some are odd and some are even. Pause the video and see if you can write them in the correct section under the titles odd or even, and press play when you're ready to mark your answers. Good luck! Well done for having a go at that Year 4. Let's have a look at the answers. Remembering that odd numbers end in 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9 and even numbers end in 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0. 19 is an odd number as it ends in 9, 2 is even, 6 is even, 3 is odd, 12 is even because it ends in 2, 16 is even, 27 is odd, 20 is even, 7 is odd, 13 is odd, 100 is even, 4 is even, 34 is even, and 6 is even. Pause the video to mark those, and if you want to keep practicing, maybe you could have a go at writing 10 numbers of your own in the correct section under odd or even. And if you'd like to send those to me to mark, you can send me a picture to our year group email address. If you're confident with this, let's move on. We've got a true or false question here. All numbers in the 2 times table are even. Explain your answer. Let's think about the 2 times table. You might want to write this down in your book or have a go at chanting it. Here's a poster with the 2 times table on and the reminder of what odd and even numbers are. Let's chant the multiples of 2 together. Chant with me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. I've noticed that all the multiples of 2 end in either 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0. I can't spot any numbers that end in odd numbers. And we know that all the answers in the 2 times table are multiples of 2 and they can be divided by 2, so they must be even. So this statement is true because all multiples of 2 end in either 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0. They can all be divided equally by 2. That's my explanation written in a sentence. I hope that makes sense, and I'd like you to have a go at that yourself. On the board there's the 3 chilli challenge, with some different true or false statements. Mild asks you about the 5 times table, Spicy asks you about the 9 times table, and the hot challenge asks you about the 7 times table. Pause the video and write that times table down in your book before answering the statement with either true or false and your explanation why. Press play when you're ready to mark. Okay, let's mark your answers. The mild challenge statement said all numbers in the 5 times table are even. Explain your answer. I hope you spent some time looking at the 5 times table and spotted that some multiples are odd and some multiples are even. For example, 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 is an even number because it ends in 0. Whereas 3 times 5 is 15. 15 is an odd number because it ends in 5. So this statement is false because there are both odd and even numbers in the 5 times table. The spicy statement said all numbers in the 9 times table are even. I hope you wrote your 9 times table down and had a look at that. You should have spotted that there are both odd and even multiples in the 9 times table. For example, 1 times 9 is 9, and we know that 9 is an odd number. Whereas 2 times 9 is even because 2 times 9 is 18, and it ends in an even number. So this statement is false. There are both odd and even numbers in the 9 times table. The hot challenge asked you to look at the 7 times table and said that all numbers in the 7 times table are even. If you had a look at the 7 times table, you will have spotted some odd numbers in there. For example, 3 times 7 is 21, and 21 is an odd number because it ends in 1. So this statement is also false. Well done if you had a go at those and you got those correct. If you want to keep practicing this and investigate different times tables, then pause the video and go ahead. If you feel confident, let's move on. Today we're going to be moving on with our multiplication work and looking at the 11 times table. I'd like you to pause the video and write the 11 times table neatly in your home learning maths book, making sure that each digit and symbol has a square of its own on your page. Once you've written it, have a look at the multiples of 11 and see if you can answer the questions that are on the board. Press play when you're ready to talk and think about these. The first question asks, do you notice any patterns in the 11 times table? When you look down the multiples, you'll notice that up to 9 times 11, both digits in the number are the same. That's really helpful when trying to remember the 11 times table. Could you use the 10 times table to help with the 11 times table? You might have noticed a pattern here. For example, 1 times 10 is 10, 1 times 11 is 11. So the answer to 1 times 11 is 1 more than the answer for 1 times 10. 2 times 10 is 20, and 2 times 11 is 22. So the answer to 2 times 11 is 2 more than the answer to 2 times 10. This could help you if you ever get stuck on an 11 times table question, because you can refer back to the 11s and the 10s to help you. Are all multiples of 11 odd, or are they all even? Let's have a look. 11, 22, 33. Oh, I've spotted some odd numbers, like 11, 33, 55, and some even numbers, 22 and 44. So every alternate number is odd, and the other number is even. That's a really good pattern to remember when we're memorising our 11 times table. If you're not confident with your 11s, I suggest you pause the video and have a go at chanting it, practising it until you're super confident. You might choose to chant it with some swimming moves this morning. Get out of your seat, let's see that front crawl or that breaststroke as you're doing your 11s. You might want to get up, get moving with head, shoulders, knees and toes as you shout out your 11 times table. Or you might want to do it in a super slow voice and have some fun while learning your 11 times table. Once you're confident, you can pause the video, then press play again to start your learning. Now you've practiced your 11 times table, here are some speedy times tables to have a go at. Give yourself 2 minutes and write the full sum in your maths book and get your pencil ready to mark when you're ready. Good luck, Year 4. Well done. If you press play again, I hope that means you've had a go at answering some, if not all, of these challenges. I'm now going to reveal the answers so that you can mark them by yourself and give yourself a score at the bottom of your work. Now we've practiced the 11 times table, let's move on to some problem solving. Here's a type of question that you might get in your independent activity today. The mathematician has used base 10 to represent 2 times 11. You can see here we've got a base 10 strip of 10 with one more to make 11. 11 and 11 makes 22. 2 times 11 equals 22. The question asks you to use base 10 or draw the base 10 to complete 3 times 11. Let's do that together in your maths book. So let's do 111 first. So draw your straight base 10. You can just do a dot or a square for the 1. So that's 1 times 11 is 11. Leave a little space. Do it with me. Let's draw the second 11. Got the 10 and the 1. 2 lots of 11 is 22. Now let's draw the 3 lots of 11. Draw your 10 and your 1. And we can see we've got 3 times 11 equals 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33. 33. Oh yes, I remember the pattern now because both numbers are the same. I hope that makes sense. If it does, let's move on. Can you draw a representation in your book for these calculations? So just like we've done previously, use the base 10 or use your pencil and ruler to draw 4 times 11 or 6 times 11. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to go through the answers. Okay, I hope you've had a go at drawing these, even if you knew the answers brain only. It's really good practice to visualise the answer. The first one asks you to represent 4 times 11 with base 10. So the picture in your book should look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4 11s equals 44. Give yourself a tick if you got that right. The second challenge asks you to do 6 times 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 11 equals 66. Well done if you got that right, give yourself a mark. If you'd like to practice drawing more using more 11 times table with your base 10, you may practice that in your maths book and pause the video. If you feel confident, let's move on. Here we've got another challenge. Let's see if we can work on it together. It says, Rosie is spotting patterns in the 11 times table. When I add together the digits of each multiple of 11, I always get an even number. For example, 2 times 11 equals 22. She's added both digits of the answer. 2 add 2 equals 4, which is an even number. Do we agree with Rosie? Explain your answer. So we need to investigate this. Let's